Okay, let me just do a quick recap of the part from where I did in the last session. So we were there in PPT. So in PPT, I've just jotted down what is the overview, what we are going to cover in the courses, and maybe expenses slide I have not covered, but anyways, we will cover this during our session. Okay. So as you can see, we will be covering all the sub modules of the finance, GL, payables, assets, receivable, cash management, everything. Okay. And coming to the GL part, you can see from in the GL part, like before starting the GL part, we will be creating our implementation project, and in that implementation project, we'll be creating our chart of account and the ledger. Okay, whatever setups that are needed to enable the chart of accounts and ledger, we will be doing it. Okay, then although you can see there is only one checkbox of roles, but here we will discuss in details how the roles work in Fusion. Okay, because it's RBAC concept that they use in Fusion. So here we will be discussing more on that. And going forward, we will be focusing majority on our manual setups, because in manual setups only we will come to know which setups enable each transactions. Because there is something called as rapid implementation, which we just have to put the data in Excel sheet and everything will be created. So we'll do some of the setups as manual setups, and some of the setups in the rapid implementation sheet. Okay. Then once our setups are created, our ledger is created, we would be going through the advanced concepts of journal, posting the ledger, posting the journals, and after that we'll be covering the advanced concepts of ledger set, reporting ledger, and secondary ledger. Okay. So whatever ledger we are creating, we would be assigning the same chart of account, and we'll be creating the different ledgers for the same. Then going forward in the payables is the first setup. There would be creating our business unit, assigning the business unit functions. Okay. Here also, since we are working in the new area of payables, we will again need to have the roles and all. After that, we will go to the core setup of payables. These setups are needed to enable us to use the functionality of payables. So you can see we would be starting with the common options of payables, then we'll be going to invoice payments. Then since we need a supplier for which we need to create invoice, so we'll be creating our own supplier, assigning the roles. Then since we will be doing the end-to-end flow, we also need bank, setup of bank, because we need to pay to the supplier, correct? So that time we'll be covering the banks and all. And later on the period, once all the setups are done, we will be opening the period, creating the invoices. We will see what is a debit memo, credit memo, how those are created, how those are used while doing the payment, how the payments are processed in the payables area. Then at last, we would be posting it to a ledger, and finally, this is something important, that is payables to GL reconciliation. Okay, so this is something we would be covering in payables. And after payables, since we have our own business unit created, we won't be creating any new business unit, because we want to use same business unit for receivables as well. So in receivables, there are some technical concepts like what are transaction type, transaction sources, what are payment terms, statement cycles. Although they look, straightforward in PPT, but we need to know what is the conceptually how the business uses it, how the statement cycles come into picture. So whenever we go to the setups, we would be covering the concepts as well. Okay, so it's not just the setups that we would be doing to enable the receivables functionality. Okay. Then going forward, we would be seeing what are the customer profile classes. One important concept is reference data set. Reference data set we would be also using in payables. Okay. Here also we'll be using. Now, since it's receivables, we would be focusing more on customers. What are customer side, customer addresses? What is the architecture of customer? And similarly, what is the architecture of supplier? We would be seeing both in the respective ledgers of payable and receivables. Going forward, we will see what are receipts, how the receipts are set up, because whenever we send invoices to the customer, customer will pay us back. So how would we record those payment in our system? So that is done by receipts. Then again, here also we would be have to assign the roles, because it's a receivables area. Then going forward, we need to open the period and create transaction. Create transaction means we would be sending the invoice to the customer, and when customer pays it, would be creating this. Okay. And here we would be also seeing the cash management. Okay. uh, there is two types of reconciliation. One is cash reconciliation, that is done with the bank and our ledger, and one is sub ledger and general ledger reconciliation. Okay, so what you were seeing here is sub ledger to GL reconciliation. Whatever transaction we are done in payables sub ledger are those correctly reflecting in GL, and whatever transactions, like whatever whenever cash is recorded, are those matching with our books in the fusion. Okay, so both ways would be seeing it in payables and receivables. And mark my words, okay, although we have assets, we have expenses, okay, but none of the company in the market will going to take you only for one module. These three are, father of all the modules. You need to, you need to be expert in either payables or receivables. And ultimately, if you know payables, then only you would be able to connect it to expenses or assets. Okay. And same receivables itself is a ocean in itself. Okay, so these two modules are something that needs to be known, in and out. And even my primary focus, because anyone who is joining classes, he is aiming to pursue it as a career, or maybe they want to deep dive into fusion finance. Like in case of Dipesh, he already has a hands-on, but what he is looking is more deeper, deeper knowledge about the payables module and all. So this is something that I would be focusing. So I would be, having good amount of time for payables and receivables. We will do reconciliation and all. And another thing is tax. Tax is something that is a common model. So you can see in this slide, there is something called as common model. So tax is like a common module, because whatever tax setup that we are doing, it will be reflecting in both payables and receivables. Okay. So looking at the time of the classes, looking at the further, we will do either tax setup in payables or tax setup in receivables. Okay. So tax also will cover here. Then cash management also is one of the setup. Okay. That also comes as a common module for both payables and receivables. So cash management setup also we will do it before either of these, so that we are able to reconcile our bank statement with our ledger statement. Okay. And it's not like cash management, I have to do a separate setup for payables or receivables. Okay. Cash management setups are done for a BU. Okay. So whatever, since we are using same BU across all our training, we would be using the cash management also for the same payables and receivables. Next is coming to fixed assets. So fixed assets is not a very big setup. Okay. Fixed setup compared to payables and receivables, it won't take much time, and also the concept or cycle of fixed asset is pretty much clear and straightforward. Although there are some concepts like pro-rate convention, pro-rate calendar. Okay, so these concepts we will see when we do the fixed asset setup. Okay. Now, if you will see, when we start, we would be going through all these slides. Okay. Right now, I won't go to all these slides as of now, because I want to focus more on applications, because application is something that we haven't touched. And this is related to tax. So whenever we do tax setup, first we need to see how the tax are set up as per fusion. What are the concepts for tax with respect to fusion and all. So once we are thorough with these concepts, then we will go to the setups. Then I guess even you will be in a better position to connect the tax theoretically as with the fusion instance. Okay. So whenever we do any advanced concepts that is there in payables, receivables, or fixed assets, first we will discuss those concepts. Then only we will go into system and do the setup. Okay. Just a setup is there and we need to complete it. That doesn't serve the purpose of understanding the application. Or even as a functional consultant, that won't do justice to your knowledge as well. Okay. Some concepts you might know, some concepts might be you are not aware of. So all the concepts that needs a deeper understanding, we will discuss it before going and doing that setup in Fusion. Okay. And there is one more expenses. Actually, expenses slide I don't have, but even that we would be covering in our training. Okay. So Okay, and apart from this, okay, I was speaking with Dipesh also that day. We would be even seeing FBDI. Okay, what is FBDI? How FBDI has come into picture, and how much flexibility they offer to a company or maybe to a client to bring in data from external sources into Fusion. Okay, so basically FBDI used for that only to bring external data into Fusion. And so whenever we do payables or maybe receivables, we will do at least one FBDI cycle also, so that you are aware how FBDI is loaded into system and how it is processed. Okay. And yeah, one thing that we would also be looking when we do payables, receivables is some reports. Okay, so we would be going some of the majority seeded reports that are offered by Oracle. We will try to understand how to read those reports and make conclusion out of this, because when you go into system and when you're facing clients, surely they will come with reports and they will ask you how that data is coming in on. So you would be only able to answer those type of question if you are aware what those reports stand for and what is the significance of that report. Okay, so I guess I'm uh, pretty much done with the slide part, setting the expectations of the course and what all we are covering. I guess from covering part we would be covering all the finance models of the Oracle. So there, I guess there won't be any question about what we're covering. But yeah, Dipesh or Keshav, any questions you think that are still open before I go into applications and you want to stop me? Any
Yeah,
questions?
Naresh, one thing about the multi-period accounting, also on the currency, like when we do cash management currency setup, when we do USD, because
Uh-huh.
we deal in US GAAP, even other reportings, like there might be a three kind of currency because invoices are received in Euro, INR, and
Correct, correct.
USD. So how to set up those currency and the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
exchange
Oh,
fluctuation?
okay, okay. Maybe currency setup we do in Ledger. I guess I'm not mentioned it. Did I mention it? Okay, I've not mentioned it, but currency setup is some. See, Deepesh.
Okay.
Okay, so currencies is we will be covering. I would be showing you how to load the currencies and what is the rate that we are going to use and how to create our own rate in case any company wants to create their own rate and use it. So we would be covering that also.
So for exchange fluctuation, like can we directly like download from Oanda or any other website like directly, or somebody has to go and punch it manually, or we
No,
like
no, no.
anything?
It is uploaded by business the page. They
Okay,
upload
so
it.
upload it either through the Excel,
Yeah.
like we have
So
the.
yeah, yeah. I either through Excel. Actually, there is an Excel for that. So Dipesh, there are two types of currency rate. Either they can load it and everyone can use it, or there might be scenario the currency that they are dealing with might be only one of the case. So that time even user rate is something that we can put. So for my classes, whenever we do payables or receivables, I will show you both the ways how a seeded currency rate is used and how a user rate is used. Okay, but we would be covering how the currencies are uploaded and how the rates are uploaded and where we see the difference between the our functional currency and the transactional currency. Did I answer your question, Dipesh?
Yeah, Naresh.
Okay. Okay. Keshav, any questions from your side at this point of time?
Yes, Naresh. You were saying about
Yeah.
then some FBDA, right? What is that means? Like it's a kind of inbound outbound report or something like that?
FPDI means okay. Let me just give you an overview. FPDI means file-based data import. Okay. So see what happens in Fusion is we can't load data as in we had that option in this EBS. because we don't have the backend. We can't do any updates in the table. Okay. So what Oracle has done, in case, assume a client is using SAP for SCM and or maybe to take another example, if it's a MNC, they are using one ERP, the non-Fusion ERP for their finance, and they consolidate everything in their Fusion Finance. So what they will do, they will put all the data in FPDI and upload it. So FPDI means you can upload the data from non-Fusion systems into Fusion system. And the actual you will see a bigger picture of FPDI during implementation. So whenever a client is migrate, because whenever you implement Fusion, it means client is migrating from some non-Fusion system into Fusion. So you need a way to pull the data into Fusion, correct? So that time client uses FPDI sheet to bulk upload the data.
Okay, got it. Yeah, thanks.
So we would be covering FPDI. So this is just I have given overview of FPDI. But you will see how for each of the functionality, the structure of FPDI is designed. So it's an Excel sheet completely designed by Oracle and offered by Oracle. There is no scope of flexibility in that FPDI. So whatever, there are mandatory fields we need to pull in to put it, and we can't customize it as per our flexibility. So whenever we come in the later part of our classes, maybe payables or receivables, we will see one of that FPDI, and that will be able to give you picture. What is FPDI, how it's loaded, and how to download it.
Naresh, what is the report for vendor statement? Normally in any ERP, we have ledger extract, right? Not the GL one. Like at a vendor level, I have vendor XYZ. Okay, there are 3 vendors and they are mapped to some GL, and
supplier aging report should be able to give you.
That will be the invoice aging. I'm asking
so
if
supplier aging,
like for example, if any vendor is asking me the balance, like a statement of accounts, like whatever transaction we had during the year, like an invoice, like expense accounted by me and payment made by me, and I want to know at last how much is the payment payable or any advance is there, kind of a ledger extract. In Tally or any other ERP, we have a ledger extract. Expenses, if accounted in ledger, it will be on the credit and payment on the debit, and you have a net balance, either debit or credit, based on your payments and liability. So what is that report? Because I am actually just
so actually see, I don't think so there is a seeded report for that, because see, when you are telling you want to extract from ledger and you want to specifically payables and payment, okay, so since you are working payable, but what happens from a client side, they want a report where even receivables, or to say all the flows are covered into same extract. So the project I am working on, okay, that there we have developed a subledger report. That subledger report gives all the data, if it's payable or receivables, and if it's payable or receivable, what are the invoice number, what is the receipt number. But there is no ready report that will give you all the data in a single report from the ledger side.
Okay.
Okay, there is no seeded, because what happens, the question you are asking, that is more specific to client. Client want what level of data, how much granularity they want in the report. So that based on the requirement, you need to customize it, because see, for my project that I am working on, the requirement is they want everything.
No, normally suppose kind of a payables, if you come to payables or receivable, later on we'll talk on receivable side. Like payable, it's an expense for me, I will account the invoice expense to vendor. So on the vendor statement, it will show on the credit side. Whenever I make a payment, it will be vendor to bank. So so vendor may, it will reflect on the debit side. If I have made any advance payment but invoice is yet to be recorded, it will show a net debit balance. If the payment is yet to be done, it will show a liability as a credit balance. Okay. So kind of a vendor ledger, it's a normal in any ERP, including Tally. If you go and supplier, like supplier vendor statement, if I want, that should be there in Oracle Fusion. I don't know, even I am also.
No, till now at least I have not seen any seeded report offered by Oracle for that.
Okay. Okay, that has to be customized.
Customized, correct. Okay. Let me go. Okay, so let me just walk it. So in the my initial classes, okay, so I had done a setup for Tata Ledger. Okay, so just let me walk you through some of the setups what I have done, and then maybe we will just see maybe receivables or payables one transaction, and I can show you what are the customers, how the suppliers that we have created and all. Okay, so there is setup chart of okay. Okay, so see these are the initial setups, chart of account and all that we need to do before starting the transactions in the system. Okay, so the in my previous class we created one Tata. See, this is Tata structure. Okay, so when I say Tata structure, we have developed is for three segments. It's a three segment structure. So the first segment is company, second is department, third is account. And maybe in case Dipesh and Keshav, you might be having what are the structure, and also whenever we actually start the session, we would be first seeing what are the structure, what are the segments and all. So here I created a three segment structure: company, department, and account. Okay, and this is the same structure that I use for my ledger. Oh, one minute. Okay, I will show you this setup maybe in some time back. Okay, so here we have created our own ledger with the same chart of account of the Tata. Okay, now whenever you go to okay, one minute, let me show you this. So the error that we saw is the roles error. Okay, so this user is a transactional user, more I can say as a functional user, and the ledger setups and all are done by someone who is having the financial application administrator. That's why it is giving me that error. But let me see if I am able to show you other setups. Manage business. So you can see we have created our own business unit, Tata business unit, and this is the same business unit that we use across payables, receivables, so across all the finance modules. The beauty of using one BU is this is the same setup that you will be seeing in majority of the client systems. Okay, and there is something called as business unit function. So in case you jump to our Tata, you can see that even for this we have selected everything. Tata Ledger. And see Tata legal entity. So you can see for this, always showing Acme view, but for Tata we have done all the since the same view would be using for payables, receivables, and other things. So all the options for your Tata view is checked out. Okay. Now let me walk you through the. So period close is the area where the general accountant of the company will come and close and open the periods whenever they want. So let me just see if the Tata Ledger October. So you can see for Tata Ledger our GL receivable payables everything is open for October period. Okay, since we have done the setup, you can see payables, receivables, everything is open for us. So we can do the transactions and even post it. Okay. Let us see a glimpse of receivables. Okay, so whenever I say receivables first part is billing. Okay, billing. First we need to create a transaction to send it to the end user. Right? Because without creating any invoice or transaction, we won't be able to get money from the customer. So you can see first we have to select transaction class, credit memo, debit memo, and here you can see the Tata business unit. Okay, so whenever we do our setup in our classes, we would be creating us our own business unit for the ledger. Okay, and here you can just select a manual order entry, do some transaction type as invoice, and maybe just put in the value test memo line. Let me put memo line so I don't have to put the account. So what is memo line? What is the significance of memo line? We will do when we do the actual setup of memos, why it is used, how a company uses it, and what are the benefits of a memo line instead of putting a manual entry. And here bill to name, we have to put the bill to name to which customer we are billing this transaction. So you can see the customer also I have named it based on my business unit only, Tata customer. And the payment terms that we have created for our own setup, Tata payment terms. Okay. Just save it, and since our period is open, we can even post it. So this is what I wanted to explain. Whenever we do transaction, first we need to open the period. So if you see our PPT also, the order is same only. First we need to open the period, then only we can do the transaction. And to do all this, we need to have the ledger setup. Then only we will be able to post the transaction. So I go in the same order. I just want it come tax account revenue. Okay, let me put the same account. So as I said, tax setup that we do, it's enabled for both payables and receivables. So here also tax is coming into picture. So what it was asking me which account the tax value should go. And you can see once we have done everything, our transaction looks fine. We can post it to ledger. And when you click view accounting, you can see which accounts this receivables and revenue are posted. So here you can see revenue is credited and receivables is debited. So this is just a glimpse about receivables transaction. So whenever we do our own setup, we have our own view, and for that same view, we create our own customer. So this is not something we will do only BU and transactions. We will also see how a customer is created, what are different options that are there for the customers, and how these payment terms come into picture and how it is defaulted. And the same way, let me just go to this payables area as well. Let's create a
can we get any report in Oracle, like it's a seeded report, like if like for even for AR or EP, whether the attachments like invoice attachment or approvals are attached, so might be if any wrong attachment is done, Oracle will not identify, but at least attachment is there or not. Normally there is a report which gives कि, okay, this many transactions are accounted under payable without attachment.
Without attachment, I don't think so. Attachment would come in any report, Dipesh.
No, in Oracle Suites, what happens? It will give you a report. Maybe it's a customized report, but if any attachment is not there, normally whenever you account invoice, you have to attach the invoice, approvals, and all other supportings. Okay. So normally there is a report which will give you whether the attachment is there in the invoice or not. Whether it is wrong or right, that it won't be able to give, because if I've attached the wrong invoice,
There is one invoice register, I guess, invoice register report. In that, although I have not seen column for attachments, but there we should be able to see if that is possible or not.
no, that is not there. Payable invoice register, I know it's not there.
Then in case if that is not there, then again it's a customization. We need to use the seeded report and customize it. So coming to payables, so here also we can see for our own payables, we have the own supplier created. Again, the supplier side. So this all setups of supplier side will it depends on the architecture of the supplier, how the supplier is set up in Fusion. Based on the supplier, only the supplier site will pop up. Okay, and let's just 30th October 120, and here I need to put the invoice items, how much items we are going to invoice. 100. Okay, and let me calculate tax. So see, in payable, in receivable also, as well as in payables also, we have many options. Okay, these options we will walk through when we discuss the invoices in details, for how much these options have an impact on the transactions that we do. Okay.
What are this below one, like below the lines it is written distribution, budgetary control, reference tax, I know, PO I know, multi-period I am aware.
Which one you are asking?
Below all
budgetary control, it will only come if you have set up the budget. Okay, so then only it will come into picture. So what happens whenever you have a budget setup? Okay, system will verify how much you have spent against the budget that you have put. Okay, it's a completely different setup, and it depends on the client and end user. Although budgetary control, I don't think so we'll be able to cover in our classes. But that's what is the significance of budgetary control.
And what are the other one? Like normally, like multi-period accounting, I know whenever the invoice is for a prepaid invoice, asset, you have to mark it as asset. Then only it will move to your clearing account. But other options, I'm not aware.
See, project will only come if you have done a project accounting setup. Okay, this instance is used by many. That's why project is coming. Landed cost is what? Whenever a product comes into your warehouse, if there are any other cost attached to it, that will come into landed cost. Okay. Purchase order is one when you are matching it with your PO. That time you have purchase order. So many of the companies, you know, they would be matching it to their PO. So that all that information will come into a purchase order. Tax is something that anyways I will show it to you. Reference, in case you have any reference for that particular line, then time we will see reference. And budgetary control is whenever you have budget set up, so you will know against that account how much is the budget and how much you have spent it. And distribution is the one where your expenses will be going. So that is your distribution. So since it's a manual invoice, we need to do distributions. But if you are matching it to a purchase order, the account will directly come from the item.
Correct.
So like this, all the setups are there. See, the thing is, this instance is used by many, so they might be using. So in normally, in case you are not using all this, it won't come. But yeah, landed cost. But I was explaining this landed cost and all will only come if you are using this type of functionality. So see, even check funds, it will only come if you have enabled the budgetary control. Like this. So let me just click on calculate tax, and I will show you how the taxes are calculated. So now you can see our line was 120 rupees is the tax calculated on that line, and the total is coming to 120. The total is coming to 120. So this is how the taxes are set up. So even in case of receivables, we had 20% tax. Here also we had 20% tax. Okay. So whenever we do payables or receivables actual transactions, we would be first doing the tax setup so that we see how the taxes are calculated and how the taxes impact the payables and receivables. And ultimately you validate the invoice and post it into your ledger.
So, Naresh, if suppose any prepayment is already made for this invoice earlier, like an advance payment have been made, so you have to apply that prepayment. So how do I know against this vendor, particularly like Tata
So
Supplier?
there is an option in Oracle. Okay, if there is any prepayment available, it will show a bell icon next to the supplier.
Okay.
Okay, whenever a user is doing any transaction, he will know that that there is a prepayment available, and you can apply that prepayment like this.
Okay.
Okay, we will see that when we do our own setups, and we will enable this. Maybe for this way I am not enabled it, but yeah, I can see it. And yeah, since we can see our invoice is validated. Validated means at least invoice is good from distribution and the attribute set, and then we can post it to ledger.
So sometime what it happens now, normally when you post it to ledger, your accounting is complete. You can go and view T accounts also, normally which GL it is going, view T account. But normally certain invoices doesn't move to GL.
That needs to be explored. What is the issue?
Okay.
Is it an accounting issue? Is it a ledger period issue? Or the accounts that it is getting posted, it's disabled? So there could be many reasons if it is not getting posted.
And normally, like if I need to change the TDS, say from professional to contractor, or any GL to be changed, few people go and change here on the override account. Whether that option should be there with them, like the invoice is accounted already. Now I need to change the tax
No.
amount.
Invoice is accounted. It means it is posted into your books. Now I guess if you do override account, I guess it will reverse. I have not tried override account actually anytime.
Okay, no, we
I
have
guess
done,
after
we have done it on many instances where people go and override that account, and the GL if I need to change. For example, if the invoice is not paid, before that I can go and
ledger
change.
you can't change, correct?
No, you can do
Ledger
that.
you can't change. You will not get any time option to change your ledger.
I have seen one of my guy who is reporting to me. He goes and he's shown me. He said this is the way you can go and change the distribution.
Distribution
So I said,
you can say, ledger you can't change.
not ledger.
Distribution you can say. So if you
Ledger
click
means
here and click
expense.
distribution,
Ledger
you can change.
you are referring to Tata. I am asking like for example professional expenses or recruitment expenses or electricity expense.
No. Okay. So what you are telling, you want to change accounts.
Correct.
Accounts. You said GL. That's why I said accounts. You can change. So before posting only, you would have clicked on distributions and you can change the account here.
Okay. Correct.
Correct. So Deepesh, actually, when we cover invoices now, we will go through all of these majority options.
Okay.
Since this is demo, I am not going much deeper
no,
into this. I just wanted to show you.
I got it.
But yeah, this is the way you change the accounts whenever you want.
Okay.
Okay. And yeah, so I guess I even posted this, and yeah, so this invoices cycle is completed once it is posted. And what more can see? I guess that's what I wanted to show in demo as of now. Okay, so once we go forward, we will even, as I said, cover everything, expenses, cash management, and all. But this is what I want to overview. So it's not only business unit and we do transaction for some other customer or supplier. We create our own customer, we create our own supplier. Because as a finance guy, that needs to be known, and only not creation, but we also need to need to know the architecture of the customer and supplier in Fusion, how they are, set up, and
Naresh,
what is the architecture.
how intercompany works? Intercompany.
Intercompany, there are two things. Either you want to invoice or you don't want to invoice.
Okay.
If you want to invoice, there is another big setup. If you don't want to invoice, only it will generate the inter-accounting
No,
transactions.
normally what happens, I have one invoice, a auditor's bill came, okay. So that invoice I don't want to record in corp office. I want to allocate based on the head count, okay.
Hmm.
I have 4 branches and I wanted to allocate based on head count. So if I have received a bill of 10 lakh, my corporate will be my 5 lakh, and because of head count 50%, and another 50% are distributed. So how can I pass that entry at a invoice level, or whether I need to go and pass at a GL level?
No,
And
okay. You so that is actually not intercompany. I
hmm,
guess that is 1 minute. There is a functionality for that. Let me see if I know that. There is something.
and
Maybe Dipesh, I will
intercompany.
just check. I guess you don't need to enable intercompany for that. There
No,
is,
that I know. It will not go to intercompany.
huh,
Intercompany is normally automatically until and
correct.
unless you have a parent company, you get. But intercompany, I wanted to understand little bit like how it works.
Create allocation rule. That what is something.
Correct.
But intercompany, intercompanies also we will not be going through this in session. But I will take one session for you in intercompany. Like we will not do setup, but I will show you the flow of the intercompany.
Okay, done.
Okay. Because I have already done intercompany setup for me, I will show you the flow, but we won't be able to cover that because already we are covering the other modules, intercompany integration. But since if you like it, then surely I am there to explain you and show it to you.
Done.
Okay, and if I have that any document with me for intercompany, I will just share it with you because instance
Then
will
I
be
can
there with you
explore
for maybe
with the
5-6
help of.
months.
Yeah,
Uh,
sure. That's not.
okay.
Yeah.
So that's all from my side, at least from the demo purpose, Dipesh and Keshav. I would like, in case you have any questions.
So currency setup, like for example, the rates which I was asking, like whenever any invoice is accounted, since we are IGAP, okay, we follow IGAP rules, okay, we account invoice which I have received from a foreign entity in USD. So
Hmm.
today's rate will be 73 point something, okay.
Hmm.
When I make a payment, either the rate will be 72 or it will be 74, okay.
Hmm.
So the difference value of the
It will
payable,
go into your variance account,
it will go to
exchange
your
rate gain or loss.
yeah, exchange rate, realized and unrealized, okay, it will go
Correct.
to unrealized, okay. So that setup, how it is done, and how
It
during
will.
invoice accounting and payment processing, what are the things need to be taken care, so that the exchange
Hmm.
rate calculation, like if that GL is saying 20 lakhs exchange fluctuation,
Hmm. Hmm.
so how we can
Yeah,
do
yeah,
we
yeah.
have do we have
Yeah,
any
we have the setup and we will also do that scenario, Dipesh, where that exchange rate fluctuation is coming.
do we have any report also, seeded report, or it has to also be customized? Say for example, I have counted 100 invoices maximum in a year for USD or Euro,
Hmm. Hmm.
and I have 100 and 100 invoice I have paid through like USD payment. Okay, so the rates will be different. So can I get this invoice was accounted at 72, the invoice was paid at 75, the difference is 2 rupees. and 2 rupees into the USD value is my exchange fluctuation. Can I get a report also? Or it has to.
Yeah. You can get the report based on the account, correct?
Okay.
Because it goes into specific account that you have done the setup. So you will able to come to know how much is the exchange rate fluctuation that has occurred in that period.
Okay.
Okay, it will go into specific account only that
and-
we use for our setup.
And also, when we'll be covering the cash management, you will let us know the BRS, like bank reconciliation, how it is done and all.
Correct. I will show you too. So 1 minute. So either in payables or receivables, we will be covering that bank statement.
Okay.
Okay. See, it works in the same way. Okay.
It works
When
in the
we do
same way.
reconciliation, it won't see payables or receivable. It will just go system transaction unless and until you have specified the ledger. So,
Okay.
you know, the same setup is applicable for both, and we will do it. I will show you how to create a manual bank statement, and we will reconcile it with our system transaction.
Okay.
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 Yeah. Okay. If there are no more questions, then maybe we can close the session.
In the payables, when we do this BRS, like system generated BRS, normally whenever the payments are done, like in my previous company, what we used to do, we had a certain like we designed a template, okay, which is more or less like as we have this ADF, AFDI or JVs are there in Oracle. So we had a template which we used to upload, like whatever the payment. So only thing we need to make sure that whatever payment has been done and whatever is reflecting. So bank statement, what we used to get from bank, we told them we want in this format. So they said ki when you make the payment, you make the payment in that way. So there were like bank, like vendor code is there, vendor amount is there, vendor name is there. So same report we used to get from bank, we used to upload it, okay, based on the payments are done, like bank statement is itself uploaded, and you will get to know, okay, in your system there are 100 payments which have been initiated, and the bank statement which is uploaded now, it reflects only 98, two are not reflecting, okay. So it will give you a variance along with the line item, which line item, because in bank suppose you get interest or you get some bank charges, so that is not accounted in your books. So that will be accounted only when you account it. So that your BRS. So is there any option in Oracle also like that template kind of thing?
Yeah. There is template, but that template actually it comes into picture when you are doing implementation, and it's a very complex setup because you need to see which standard bank is using. Okay, there is a template. Okay, because generally banks will give you statement, you will upload it. So we don't have actual bank here, that's why we will be creating a manual bank statement from our side and reconciling it.
Also, Naresh, suppose I have 100 invoices which I cannot account it due to GRN SRN issue. Okay. So for what happened, approximate it is 1.5 crore. I made a payment of 1.2 crore. Okay, to the vendor as a PI prepayment. Okay. Now that 1.2 crore, whenever I account an invoice for that vendor, I have to knock off that 1.2 crore. So your balance will get reduced. Like 1.2 crore, if you have accounted 50 lakh, it becomes 70 lakh. Now 70 lakh is your advance sitting for that vendor. Again, I accounted 60 lakh. Your advance becomes now 10 lakh. Once you adjust and apply, okay. Is there any report, seeded report, or that also have to get it customized by my Oracle team? Okay, saying that ki, 1.2 crore I paid. Okay, these many invoices were accounted and we knocked off. Okay, but it's a day in day out process. There are 100 invoices and many people are doing that. Not even a single person is doing that. Okay. So can I know ki, okay, I made payment 1.2 crore to a vendor, that I know prepayment, some report is there. Uh, uh, Out of this 1.2 crore, 70 lakh is adjusted or 80 lakh is adjusted. That is adjusted again with this invoice. That also I get it. There is a prepayment remittance report. Okay. I'm not sure, but yes, prepayment remittance report is there. I need to validate that. But now, how much is still for that vendor, which is the PI? For example, now 50 lakh is still showing as advance, right? So whenever next month or next to next month I have to account any invoice, first I will adjust that advance, right? So can I get a complete can I get a report kind of ki how much prepayment is still not knocked off? in the books against the invoices?
I guess that you will get in prepayment report. I have not touched any prepayment report, but that should be showing you what are the open balances for prepayment report. Right? No?
No, I'm not getting that open balance. Maybe I'll check.
Then maybe actually see Dipesh, there is one Oracle link itself, okay, where they have mentioned what are the seeded reports and what is offered in that seeded report. So maybe I will share that link with you. Okay, so that will be, I guess, a good point for you to understand what comes with seeded report and how much is needed for customizations from
Normally,
the
what happens
consulting.
in tools, if you go and search, na, you will get
Uh-huh.
all the reports which are there, like account analysis report, invoice
No, but the
register.
thing is, there is one Oracle site that gives you what is the significance of each report and what is offered in that report.
Okay.
We know these reports are there, but Oracle has a dedicated portal where they have given in payables this many reports are there, and this is the work of this report, and what is the major details that are showed by that report. So that should be actually very handy for you even when you are talking with your tech team, because in case there is actually a seeded report and you just need to flavor
This,
it as per your requirement, that should be a good easy one.
correct.
So that is there. I maybe I will just share that link with you maybe on Monday or Tuesday whenever I log in next.
Okay, great.
Okay, then we'll close it and just maybe confirm it to Sahana or Bhaskar. If you guys are going ahead, then maybe we can start the session based on the timings.
Keshav, any question you have?
Yeah.
Keshav, are you from finance background or just?
Yes, I am from finance background, but I don't have that much functionality, knowledge about the ERP which I'm working on, because I was a developer earlier. Then I moved on to business analyst role. So I'm just there to assist the business. So functionally, I have to, because the questions which you are asking, I can able to relate few points. Like you are asking about something related to, I think, prepaid invoices kind of stuff I'm working on. Maybe you are asking about the prepaid advances or something. I don't know. Right? Maybe that may relate. I guess. Correct, right?
Correct. Multi-period accounting.
Okay. So you may be probably working on AP to cash management and all related to banks and all. Correct, right? Those kind of modules. Correct, right? Invoices.
As of now, I don't have actually. I am taking care of accounts payable and GL completely.
Okay.
And then anything, any report development I have to do, I coordinate with my Oracle team normally in my company. So what I was telling to Naresh, my expectations was from a user side.
Correct. Right.
How user is accounting the invoice, what are the things he has to punch, what will be the output. And then definitely after getting this training, I have to get into a lot of things. Naresh, you said one book is also there of Oracle, right? There is a Oracle book which you can read and like you can do some testing also.
Correct. Not actually one book. For each module, there are separate books.
Okay. For each module, there is a separate book.
There is a separate book. Correct.
Okay. So, will you be providing those books?
Yeah. I will be providing that. Correct. I will be providing that.
Okay.
Yeah. See, there will be many books I will be providing, but even I will tell you which book you should refer in order of preference, and so that after this book, this is the first book you should start.
Okay. And also, I don't know, my Oracle team doesn't know, but I checked with one of my friend who is like right now in Dubai. What he was telling to me, ki Oracle have some groups, okay, where you can like Oracle queries, where you can raise your queries and they will resolve it. A kind of a
That is
WhatsApp group.
Oracle support portal. Haven't you touched Oracle support portal anytime?
No, never. I didn't touch it because my tech team is coordinating with Oracle whenever we face.
Correct. Oracle support portal is there, correct, where you can put that is SRs, correct.
And like after this training, can we go for like Oracle? Some exams are also there, right?
Yeah. I guess I am not sure Keshav was asking me or you was asking me.
Yeah,
you can give exams. I will provide you with resources.
Okay. How much is the exam fees and how the exam is held and how is it like?
12,000 is the price.
And
It can be given from home.
Okay. And how the exam is held? Like it's whether it is in a
MCQs.
MCQs.
MCQs, yeah.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you, Naresh. I don't have any questions.
Okay.
Yeah, even I
Okay.
don't have any questions, Naresh. Yeah, let's like share the things with Sahana so that we'll take it up later.
Sure, sure. Okay,
Okay.
fine. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Have a
you.
great weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks, Naresh. Thanks, Deepesh.
Thank you. Thank you.